Hi, I'm Abbott. I'm from SMSF Strategies, and today we're going to be talking about trustee, acting as a trustee. As many of you should be aware, is that if you become a member of a self-managed superannuation fund, you're required to be a trustee, or as I've pointed out in numerous other videos, a director of a special purpose corporate trustee. Now, it's all very well to come in and take those responsibilities, be a member. Effectively though, you have to understand exactly what you're getting into. I've talked about it again before, but if you make a mistake as trustee, you can be held to be personally liable and up for quite serious fines and damages if you do a simple slip-up such as breaching a rule on the trustee. For example, you may well be a trustee in a self-managed superannuation fund and you want to undertake borrowing. You found a great little property just close to you, good investment property, got a 5 or 6% yield. You've decided you've got 20% deposit sitting inside the self-managed. You're about to make an offer. You go to the bank, Westpac or NAB, they've given you the tick of approval. You've gone up to your relevant loan limit. Everything's ready to go. You decide to then go out and invest in the property. You set up a bear trust, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, in order to facilitate the borrowing. And then you go and make an offer, put a deposit down, and you believe you're off and running. Now here's where the problem starts, is then for the bank to accredit the borrowing, you've got to make sure that built within that trust deed is not only the ability to carry out the borrowing, but the trustee to have a whole lot of other powers, the power to act as custodian, the power to borrow, to give bills of exchange, to give a whole lot of other stuff. What will happen is your deed is required to go to the legal department of the bank, who'll then vet it. Now here's the first thing, is if it's a pre-2007 deed, you're basically up against it. The banks are going to come back and say you can't do that deed, you need to upgrade the deed. And upgrading rules isn't very difficult. We do it all the time at SMSF Strategies. It's simply a process of looking at the existing deed, extracting the old rules and putting in a brand new set of SMSF Strategies superannuation rules in there to run that fund. And then the trustees have all the benefits and the powers and the strategies and everything that's sitting down in that SMSF Strategies trust deed and rules to allow them to really run that fund to the best of its ability. Now, one of the things we have to look at is, as I said, with the borrowing, we've also got to start to look at what I believe is probably one of the most important features of a self-managed super fund, is who's going to be a member. Now, it's all very well for us to have mum and dad as members, but really there's an opportunity under the current laws, although they may well be changed under the relevant reviews, at the moment to have 4 members in the fund. I strongly suggest that you start to bring your children in the fund. In fact, many families these days, and my family is one of them, where I have what we call a blended family. Myself and my wife Amrita, we have children from different marriages. We've elected not to have one fund, but in fact 2 funds. Both Amrita and myself are in one fund with one set of children, and we're in another fund again with another set of children. It really makes a lot of sense to do that sort of thing. These are true family superannuation funds. Now, to get the children as members, great. If they're under age 18, effectively they can't act as trustee or a director of a corporate trustee. So effectively what happens is you as parent take their place. Provided again, and we should understand this, the trust deed allows us to do that. Or if we're running a corporate trustee, the memo and articles of association allow us to do that. And of course you can expect that the SMSF Strategies trust deed and memo and articles for our special purpose corporate trustee allows that. So the children automatically are looked after by their parent. Now, if the children are older, once they turn 18, then automatically they're required to become a trustee or a director of a corporate trustee. Failure to do so means the fund is no longer a self-managed super fund, and within a 6-month period, if the trustees haven't got rid of that fund or elected it to be what we call a small APRA fund, where we get an external trustee such as perpetual or permanent trustee to take over, that fund's up for quite significant penalties and potential jail sentences for the trustees of the fund. So we don't really want to go there. So once our children become trustees or directors of corporate trustee, it's great to have them in there. Again, it's fantastic. We can look after them. If the children get sick, we can start to pay our benefits to them. We can look after them in a myriad of ways. But, and this is the big but, it's no good having them in there if your trust deed says that they get the same vote as you. It doesn't make sense. Particularly as you're running along in the stream of life, if they're 18, 20 or 40, 50, it doesn't make any difference. They've got one vote, to play on the table as the same as you, one vote, seems okay. But it's when there's things that happen, divorces, when you want to make different investments, when you go through the borrowings, when you want to, someone dies in the fund or someone becomes incapacitated, when someone is separated or there's a family law settlement, that's when the real fun starts. So it's absolutely crucial to have a strategy that doesn't give every trustee the same power of votes. A lot of the smarter deeds in the market certainly have copied the SMSF Strategies trust deed, whereby every trustee has votes based on their account balance. In my fund, I might have $600,000 in my account balance in my accumulation fund. That means I've got 600,000 votes when I come down to the voting table. We've got a corporate trustee, so it means when we have a directors meeting, I've got 600,000 votes. And Rita, she's only got around about 100,000 votes, and our children effectively have got virtually no votes at all. We've been making the contributions on their behalf. All of them are under 18, and getting that co-contribution from the government in one way, shape or form. It's really worthwhile having a look at the ability of control. Control also plays its part when we have a look at estate planning. We've taken it one step further in the SMSF Strategies trust deed, and this is crucial to look at, is that upon death or even incapacity, your legal personal representative or your executive comes in, takes your place as trustee of the fund, and then starts to look after the benefits as you have put down wishes for those benefits. It may well be through an SMSF will or an SMSF living will, but effectively the trustee is in there working on your behalf. And I think that's absolutely crucial, that the most important thing is that when we do set up the fund, make sure the trustee allows the people in power, the right people, to maintain control and think of control when it flows out in different areas. Trustee control, absolutely crucial. Grant Abbott from SMSF Strategies, signing off.